This unassuming mineral pops up in almost every aspect of our lives, from food and preservatives, water filtration, soap and textile manufacturing, to pharmaceuticals and agriculture. But on a much smaller scale, a new trend in spice cuisine is flourishing in Nova Scotia: boutique salt making. This small home business began as a love affair for the Duggan family, who run Tidal Salt.
About 4 years ago, and my wife was away for the weekend, and I was trying to think of a gift to make for her. And I'm out at the beach, and I just kind of saw the ocean, thought there's salt in that water, and she's a chef, so why not make some sea salt? So I went and got a bucket, and I waded into the water, got the water out, took it home, and started boiling it, and that was our first batch. So when she came back, she saw the salt that I made. It wasn't great, but the thought counts.
Humans have been making sea salt and using it to season our food for thousands of years. And just like wine, cheese, and coffee, its flavor depends on where you are in the world. Making it is a simple and timeless process.
Our salt and any other kind of artisanal fleur-de-sels or sea salts is a combination of the other salts that are in the water, that we don't filter that out, right? And that's closer to what salt would have been, how salt would have been made in the 1950s, before the 1950s. So I think of it a little bit like champagne or like wine. You know, champagne made in one region versus another region is going to have its own specific flavor and body and kind of experience to it. And really that's the same is true from salt. So if I make salt from ocean water off the coast of Africa, or if I make it off the coast of Lawrencetown or Cape Breton, those are all going to be different salts. They're going to have a little bit of a different flavor profile. So Eastern Passage has a little bit of brighter feel. Further up the eastern shore at the 100 Wild Islands, we had a group of kayakers that went offshore and pulled in about 20 liters of water. And we filter everything. So when you do the filtering process, we end up with the filter. You can actually see how much was pulled out, right? And this was pristine, beautiful water. And that salt has this really, it has this really kind of electric kind of flavor to it. You can't make that salt anywhere else on the planet.
Being an artisanal salt maker, a paludier, the traditional name for a salt maker, takes patience.
Girl, good job.
It takes about 140 to 150 liters of water just to make 4 kilograms of salt, and a commitment from the whole family. Even Colin's father, Mike, joins in on the collecting and brewing.
Our business plan is scoop ocean, boil ocean, succeed.
All right, that's down to about 25, Colin, so we can add another 10 or 15 anytime now.
Right on.
Okay.
And so you bring it to a boil, the water is steaming off. The crystals that form at the top of the water, we pull those off, that's fleur-de-sel. The ones that sink to the bottom become sea salts.
That looks good, Colin. I think it's nice clear.
Yeah, especially for a batch after a storm like that, we should get quite a bit of salt for it.
Yeah, usually you get that sand churned up, right, from the storms.
This came out pretty clear though.
Yeah.
We'll get the rest filtered out later on, but right now it looks pretty good. Good batch.
It's going to be a good batch. Now that I'm retired, it's nice to be able to help out, and gives me something to do, and it's a nice way to spend some time at the beach and spend some time out in my backyard.
Taking chances with ingredients that have a real maritime twist and adding more than a pinch of fun seems to be the Duggan family's recipe for success.
Oh, cookies.
Mommy and you made the cookies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mommy made cookies. Dad made the cookies.
There may have been a few boxes shipped out with crayons on them.
Yeah.
Family business.
Yeah.
You see 1 and 2 and 3, 4.
But my wife Audrey is a chef, and so she knows, she could see that salt, and the kind of light bulb goes off of, oh, we can do a lot more with this, right? So we went out and we got some limes, we got some maple sugar, we got different products like that, and started playing with those flavor combinations.
Everyone does garlic salt, so why not do black garlic? Because it's so tasty. You know, if you had told me 10 years ago, when I was working as a chef, that I was going to have a child and be living in Nova Scotia and making artisan sea salt, I would have said you were insane.
So we have our fleur de sel, our smoked sea salt. We have our Highland salt, which is our specific label for the salt coming from Antigonish.
It's been such a wonderful experience working with such a beautiful product, and it's been a really, really wonderful introduction into the Nova Scotia community, which has just welcomed me with open arms. It's been fantastic to move here.
We have our lime salt, maple salt, coffee salt, lion's mane salt, basil salt, black garlic salt, black rock salt, which is traditional lava salt that comes from adding activated charcoal, black rocks. I always miss my favorites.
Although we tend to overlook it, salt has a mystery about it, a story packed with history and nostalgia.
And we're recreating something that people did here, before settlement. People were making salt here. We're not particularly sure how, but people were making salt here. The first fishermen that came here from Ireland, coming through Newfoundland and down to places like Canso, had to salt their fish to get it home. That's just that, it's that callback to that history we have in this area. I mean, it is a very large natural resource that's sitting on our doorstep. It gives you that sense of home. It gives you that sense of something that's unique.
Salt is inextricably woven into our lives, here in Nova Scotia and around the world. This little white mineral that sits unassumingly on our kitchen table is not only mysterious and healing, it's essential to life on Earth.
I've seen sugar substitutes in my food, but I've never seen salt substitutes. We're supposed to cut back salt for our high blood pressure, and we all make, claim to make that effort. But we need salt, and it's not going to. We have a lot of salt. I wouldn't worry about running out of salt.
I come back all the way full circle to farming a product that's been here all along. We're paying homage to the people that came here first. I find that comforting. I find that there's a truth in that.